Guys, how are you? Thank you so much for tuning in to this video. I'm going to be sharing some information which I feel I've always wanted to share. Anyways, it's going to be a chatty one, so grab yourself a drink, a coffee, of course, and let's get started. So, guess what? I want to share with you the essentials for winter clothing, and that is especially for female like me and also mainly for Canadian winters. If your weather is like this, I mean, if you know about Canadian winters, this is just the beginning. Right now, actually, it's still fairly it's bearable. I can say for sure. I know that it's gonna get really bad. And there are some brothers and sisters who have just moved into Canada, and the winter time is such a shock for a lot of us. I just want to share with you, I would say, the essential clothing that one needs to go through the winter. Hang on tight and let's get started. So, like I mentioned, it's going to be chatty. I'm going to share a bit of some information that is really, really my personal experiences, right? So, I moved here in Canada, of course, quite some time back. And I remember back then, it would be spring, and you look outside and you see that beautiful sunshine, and the grass is green, and the flowers are blooming, and you're like, you know what, I can go out in my tank top because we are used to dressing in tank tops or open sleeveless kind of clothing when we are home. We never or rarely ever bundle up in terms of clothing. So I would look through the window and I would be like, oh, this is okay, it looks beautiful, I can go out like this. And I would head out of the door and get out there. It's spring, right? Trust me, I would just run back into the house because the cold is just like it's chilly already. It's just like chilly on your body. So I would always have to be convinced by the weather itself out there that it's actually cold and I can't bear it in order for me to bundle up. You know what I mean? And then came winter. Finding or knowing the perfect clothing for winter, it took me a good 2 years for me to figure out which ones are the perfect jackets, perfect winter shoes, all the kind of clothing that one would need for the winter to keep you warm. It took me a good 2 years. I had to, start planning on, okay, I better start investing in some of these clothes, in the kind of shoes, and, the gloves and stuff like that. Oh, the toques as well, the toques, right? Well, not this is a hat, but like, the winter toques to keep you warm. So, anyways, it took me a couple of years for me to put these clothes together, and I finally did. And I'm thinking that probably there is somebody who has just moved into Canada and they're gonna feel the wrath of the winter. So I want to help you, okay? As you go along, grab yourself, get your jackets one at a time and find your winter shoes, winter boots one at a time until you know that you have a set of the perfect clothes that you need when the weather goes deep down low, okay? All right, so first of all, there is something called thermal pants. If you live in super cold, wintry countries like Canada, of course, um, I remember somebody telling us about thermal pants. It could be the pants as well as like a top. It's super thin and soft material, which is so nice and warm. So you have to put on those underneath your clothing. And those things tend to run out super fast from the store. I believe normally around fall in September or early October, if you can, run to the store and look for thermal underwear. It really helps a lot to keep you warm. I would say for somebody who doesn't, like somebody who is not outdoor a lot of times, then maybe you may not really find the need to use thermal underwear. But I remember back in the day when I had just moved here, I used to work so far away from my home. I used to hop on a train and then jump on a bus and another bus. So I would have to use about three different kind of, public transit means for me to get to my workplace. And I would have to do that coming back home as well after work. So it's pretty tough. Now, when you are out there using the public transit system in the winter time, it is brutal, very brutal. Psychologically, physically, mentally, like it really drains you. Anywho, you need the thermal underwear if you especially if you are outdoor a lot of times. We got that out of the way. The next thing that you need in the winter time is gloves. Let me tell you, you need gloves. Okay, something like this. So you get your gloves, of course, in pairs, and you need a lot of them, by the way. That's another one, and another one, and I got more because these things tend to get lost. But you may have to have one for the purse, one for the car, one for the house, one for at work, just in case, because you may need to have your winter gloves with you on you all the time. Myself, even when it's just minus what, in minus 22 degrees, my fingertips be freezing, like literally freezing. I just feel them freezing even when I have gloves on. As a matter of fact, sometimes you may need to bundle up the gloves. Say you got these right here. I think they say these ones would cover you for minus 20 something. Sometimes they put you know, but these things don't work. Like it literally doesn't work. So a lot of times I would have this on like this, and then you can put on another glove, okay, like another pair. You see this? I'm good to go. With this, you are good to go for the winter time. You'll be out there, you can walk around, you can hop onto the buses, and you'll be safe. Next up is shoes. When I have these shoes, I'm good. And I'm going to explain to you how I use them. Some of the fall shoes can be used in springtime or when the winter is ending because it's quite messy. The snow melts and sometimes there are puddles of water and stuff like that. So you still cannot wear your summer shoes. Anywho, I'm going to show you the 5 pairs of shoes which I normally use through transitioning from fall into winter and sometimes through spring. All right. First and foremost is any kind of runners like these right here. I believe everybody has a pair of runners. So definitely any kind of runners can help you, especially in fall, September, it's just cold for the most part. There's no rain, no water puddles, no snow, of course. So kind of runners are a good start to have as shoes. But I do know that a majority of time, some of us make the mistake of putting on runners throughout the winter time as well. I used to do that mistake as well, and my feet would be freezing. I would be on the bus and my feet are freezing. I'm walking outside and my feet are freezing, but just because I never had the right kind of shoes for the weather. Okay, so runners are good shoes to have in fall because you just put them on and you're good to go, and they can go with literally every kind of clothing. The other faves that I've come across actually this fall are these kind. They're a bit beat up, of course, because I've been using them for the season, but these kind of clogs are so good. These ones right here, they'll go with literally any kind of clothing. You just slap them on and you're out of the door, okay? You don't need to deal with laces. You don't need to deal with, going down and tying laces and stuff like that. No, you just have to put on your socks and throw on these guys and you're out of the door. Come home and just, throw them away. And it's just so convenient. But more so as well, they keep the feet warm, especially if they're this type. They are so good. I have worn these the entire fall, and I feel that if somebody can really find these guys, just pick them up. because they make life so easy. But sometimes if you want to kind of bump it up a notch, sometimes if you want to feel a little bit stylish, then you're going to need some type of boots. And these guys right here are so awesome. I've had these for almost, I don't know, 8 years or something. You want to find them in good quality. Of course, pure leather is more important, is much better, is more favorable. So if you want to be a little bit, stylish once in a while. So these guys right here in fall, they are so good. Each time I wear them, I always get compliments each time. I still get compliments. And these are really old fashioned type of boots. You know what I mean? But they are so good, but more so they are flat. I wear these in fall and sometimes in winter time. I can pull them off. You're going to church or somewhere fancy at work. These are good to have. The real winter boots that everybody needs, everyone, are these kinds. Let me tell you something. If you live in Canada and never ever at any one point in time fall on the ice, count yourself lucky. Everybody gets a share of them falling on the ice. It just happens so fast, so quick. I've seen people fall down. It's not funny, you guys. I've got my knees hurt so many times because of falling in the winter time, especially if you put on this kind of guys when it's winter. Under the new snow, there is ice. Always. There is always a layer of ice. Actually, layers and layers of ice at the bottom of the soft snow on top. Especially if you're having this kind of shoes. Yeah, be ready to fall down. However, if you want to spare yourself from sliding and falling down in the winter time, one needs to get these kind of shoes. Okay. First of all, they are so nice and long, top to bottom. So even when we have like, big mounts of snow, you can paddle through. You can still paddle through that snow with this kind of shoe. Yeah, they're bearable. And inside, they are nice and warm. They have some fleece inside, so they will always be nice and warm for you. 200-gram insulation, nicely insulated. The ones I have are super nicely insulated, but these kind of boots come in so many styles, so many fashions, so many different colors. You can get white, black, cream, green, red, whichever. Most importantly, you want to get some which have good traction at the bottom, something like this, so that you are safe and do not slide on the ice, because when you fall down, it's not funny. So please get yourself some nice boots like these. Trust me, any store sells them. We have the Bay Canada, we have Winners, HomeSense, so many other stores, by the way, so many stores. Just go in the mall and look for these kind of boots, especially when they have good traction control at the bottom, nicely padded inside and insulated. You will be nice and warm. That is it that I had actually for the shoes. So let's move on. Next in line is my favorite, and it's the jackets. I only have 3 jackets, and to me, these are the essential kind of jackets that anybody needs. With these 3 jackets, I'm good to go. I'll go through fall and winter. One is this kind. Um, it's like a shirt, but kind of thick. This is, I think, a Canadian style of dressing. In the fall, you will find a lot of people put on this kind of jacket. And I'll show you. It's just, thinly padded inside. On the outside, it's fleece, soft material, kind of, but super, super nice and warm. I'll just show you. With this, you'll go through September, October with this one jacket. I literally live in this. September, October, you always see me having this on top of my clothing. And they come in different colors, by the way. I personally chose these just because I wear black a lot. I tend to gravitate towards black clothing a lot of times. This works perfect for me. Black and white matches and goes so well with black and white. And that's why I got this. But you can get it in different colors. If you have this type of jacket, it's so good. You know, when the cold hasn't really come in yet, this will go perfect because, you know, you just throw it on just to bundle up just in case, and it works 100%. And when the weather starts to, you know, dip a little bit, you know, when it's windy, the falls in Canada, fall season is super duper windy. Like we get those strong winds, which can literally push a human like me. That wind is so strong that sometimes you feel it pushing you backward. So then one needs to transition in something like this. Somebody could think it's a winter jacket. Well, yeah, you could use this as well in the winter when it's not too cold, but it's best for fall. Something light like this, but it's more of like a trench, so it goes a bit below the butt, right? So yeah, this would be it. It's super thin, but it does the job 100%, like so perfectly. I really love this one too. I've had this for years, actually, so many years. I really enjoyed using this, and yeah, it's always worked for me throughout fall, and I love it. And this is the one that I can also use in springtime because sometimes spring is rainy, and as you can see, this has the material which, if it gets wet, you don't feel the water on your body. Like, what is it called? What's that called? Whatever. Anywho, yeah, this works perfect in spring as well because yeah, it keeps me nice and dry without the water on me. That is that. And the final winter jacket that everybody needs, you need a thick parka if you want to survive in Canadian winters. Something like this. It has a huge hoodie. There is that blowing snow sometimes. Now, when you have this and just tie it down your head, it helps. It helps a huge deal, let me tell you. So, anywho, one needs this heavy parka. And this is one of those long ones, like from head to toe. This with those winter boots, this right here, and some nice warm gloves, you are covered. This is the other jacket that I feel that every immigrant needs to invest in this kind of jacket. I feel that if somebody invested in some of proper winter dressing, then the winter is bearable. Yeah. So tell me, of all these, which one do you prefer? Which one do you have? Which one do you plan on getting? I think that's it. That is it that I wanted to share, and I just hope that this video has been useful and it gave you some insights on the proper kind of clothing. And I'll talk to you guys in my next video. Bye now.